Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of the Pondcast. Today's episode, Battle at the Pond, Dudunsparce. I'm your host, Draco, and joining me today are my co-host, Chase.
What's cracking, everyone?
And Guren.
Alola.
For those of you joining us today for the first time, our Battle at the Pond series is our individual looks at Pokemon and how we would each train them, trying to spark out-of-the-box thinking and to show that there's no one way to build a Pokemon. And let's dive into it. Dudunsparce is a normal-type Pokemon which takes 2 times damage from fighting and is totally immune to Ghost-type moves. Its abilities are Serene Grace, which doubles the chance of moves having secondary effects. Runaway, except from trainer battles, can always run from battle. It cannot switch during mean look or block. And its hidden ability is Rattled, where the speed is raised by 1 stage when the Pokemon is hit by a bug, ghost, or dark type move or is intimidated. Its base stats total of 520, with hit points being 125, attack being 100, defense being 80, special attack being 85, special defense being 75, and a speed of 55.
So, yeah, my Dudunsparce is a 3-segment Dudunsparce, of course, because why wouldn't you go for 3-segment? I don't know if there's any stat differences between the two, but the ability I gave it was Serene Grace to boost moves' secondary effect chances. The item I gave it was the Clear Amulet to avoid any stat changes. Terra type is Water. Moves are Aqua Tail, Body Slam, Drill Run, and Hyper Drill. 252 EVs into HP and 252s into attack, essentially making it like a bulky sweeper. That's my boy.
I was really surprised that you were going for the water Terra typing, but I can see why after you said that you're going to put Water Pulse on it, which brings me to like another point. Is like I didn't realize how much of a varied this Pokemon special move pool was. Having that chance to like confuse with the Water Pulse, because you also had Serene Grace on it too, is like wonderful. It like it fills my trolley desires for this Pokemon.
Wait, did I say Water Pulse? I'm sorry, I meant Aqua Tail.
Oh, Aqua Tail. Oh, okay, well, at that point, it's still, you still get that extra damage. My bad. If I misheard. I think the Water Terra type people would surprise me the most.
I definitely like the way you went around it, making him bulky and just a pain to deal with. Aqua Tail's a great move, especially with when you Terra type it into water. Honestly, I like it. I like the build.
Yeah, I mean, he is just basically one long tail, so I had to give him some kind of tail move.
As I mentioned, like before the recording, like I did end up making it exactly like the normal model type Dunsparce that I had from way back. So I just made it into like something really annoying. I put 252 stats into it, EVs into its HP stat, and then 120 into defense and special defense. So I just kind of like making it rely on its bulk. It's base 80 and base 75 defense and special defense respectively isn't too bad, especially with that HP stat being at 125. So for the items, I think Leftovers was a good one for the longevity. I gave it the ability Rattled, and for the moveset, I gave it Glare, Hyper Drill, Dragon Tail, and Tailwind, and then a normal Terra typing. The Hyper Drill has its signature move, and I think it has the ability to break through protections. Is I think definitely a very good staple move for the Pokemon to have, especially with the stab. I didn't know the thing got Tailwind, and I thought that might be pretty cool, especially since I'm already putting Glare on it. And then Dragon Tail just to be a little bit more annoying. Granted, Pokemon's not a fairy type, just to like constantly keep switching out the opponent's Pokemon, and if able to put another Glare on that new Pokemon that came out. And, yeah. Oh, I also made an Adamant Nature just to get a little bit more attack damage.
And that's interesting. I like the combination of Glare and Dragon Tail. I think that's definitely a reducing build right there.
I have to admit, I like the combination of Tailwind and Dragon Tail, because think about it this way. Nobody's going to expect a 55 speed Pokemon to use Tailwind, especially Dunsparce. And then Dragon Tail, it forces a swap. So if you happen to be outspeeding that Pokemon off of Tailwind now, you can just as easily hit that Pokemon, swapping them out for the next one in line. They lose their turn. That right there is infuriating. Like, you have to actually have a mon that outspeeds your Tailwind Dudunsparce just to keep you from just to try and attack, and then on top of all of that, now you have leftovers. So while they can't even attack you, you're healing. I like this. Yeah. That is so trolly of you.
And then, like, because like I knew I wasn't having like a lot of moves with like the good secondary effects, and that's why I put Rattle for the ability. So like in the case that he does get hit by one of the moves that procs it, at least he'll get even more of a speed boost, I think, right? So it's like, oh, okay, well, now no one's going to
Well, if you think about it, if you're doing it in a doubles, you can actually rattle yourself.
Oh, that's true. No. Good old beat up.
Oh good god, beat up would really proc it.
Gotta find something that won't kill it.
You're right. Simple. When you beat up, Roost.
Oh, okay. So put Roost as one of the abilities.
Yeah,
okay.
You give it Roost, and now you restore half of your hit points, and now you're fast and dangerous.
Wait, this thing gets Roost too?
This thing gets Roost.
What the hell? It does. Oh my god.
The most OP Pokemon of Gen 9.
Why?
Yeah.
It's secretly good. They're like, we're gonna make its evolution look like not great, but it's secretly not that bad either.
It's got Roost Tailwind, so it's got a healing move, a speed buff move, and Hyper Drill goes past Protect.
Alright, so for my build, I went with the ability Serene Grace, and I wanted to capitalize on that specific ability. So I was very particular of which attacks I took. I gave it the Shell Bell because for the attacks that I chose, I wanted to make sure that my Dunsparce was going to be in it for the long haul. The moves I gave it were Rain Dance, Hurricane, Thunder, and Body Slam, with the Terra typing of Flying. This way, I can use Rain Dance to set up for Hurricane and Thunder, which will never miss. They have a 30% chance to either cause confusion or paralyzation, and Body Slam also, I believe, has a 30% chance for paralyzation, which off of Serene Grace will double that to 60. So I'm almost guaranteed to get it, to get something on there. And being the fact that Dunsparce is only a 55 speed, this helps mitigate that whole aspect of the fact that it's slow. I have an electric type paralyzation, I've got a normal type paralyzation, which covers pretty much everything that would be immune to a paralyzed type attack. For my EVs, I put 108 into the defense and 148 for special defense and 252 into my special attack, since I'm going to be special attack specific on this. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the Terra type I gave it was Flying, and I gave it the Modest Nature to help bolster that special attack for the damage. This thing, I want it to be a flying insect of doom.
I like it. It's like, except for like the great idea that the Dunsparce is missing the ground typing, you giving it the flying Terra type is also kind of funny too, because it's like, oh, you know what? It could have also been a flying type. That is also another missed opportunity. It could have been flying or ground type. How did they not put that? I mean, flying type would have been fun. Like, you have to say, like, I was also thinking at one point about going to the special route if I wasn't going to go trolley, but, like, I never thought about, like, Rain Dance, and then having Thunder and Hurricane. It's like, oh, wait, yeah, it does get these moves. So, like, you can proc it with the Serene Grace. And the good thing about it is, Hurricane causes Confusion. Confusion is, like, another debuff that you can stack on a Pokemon, right? Because, like, usually if, or how the game works, right? Like, you inflict the status on a Pokemon, they can't get status by anything else. But then, like, Confusion doesn't really, like, count, so to speak. It just adds it on or tacks it onto the Pokemon, regardless if they're already poisoned or paralyzed. So that's pretty nut. Yeah.
Apart from the fact that you built a full-on Weather Mage to Dunsparce, I do really like the Flying Terra type, because it's got those small little stubby wings, so I mean, might as well make use of them. And then the combination of Hurricane, Thunder, and Body Slam, because if you're not getting paralyzed, there's a pretty high chance that you're going to get confused, which can be really annoying.
And you never have to
Cool.
worry about accuracy either, right? Because, you know, you have the rain dance on specifically. And then you still get stabbed on the body slam for it being normal. So you
Yup.
had a lot of damage potential with some annoying side effects there.
And Shell Bell will give me 1/8 of the damage done back as hit points, which gives it some sustainability. That aside, something hit me that I didn't see until we started looking at Dudunsparce with some of the moves that it has. Flying type Terra, and then it gets Roost. And there's something that needs to be asked, and I don't know if anybody's actually tested it or not. But what happens when you use Roost on a flying type Pokemon?
It loses the flying type pig, I believe.
Yeah. So then what type is it? It would be a no type, because I used to roll Arcanine as a no type till they removed Burn Up from the game, as well as Typhlosion. The only other Pokemon that could do that was Moltres, because Moltres had Burn Up and it had Roost. So you can have a no type Moltres for one turn. Defensively speaking, when you're healing, that's great, but that's the only move that'll do it for you. And on the next turn, you're back to being a flying type. So in this case, flying type roosting might benefit for if your Terra would benefit, so that you don't take as much damage, because you would take normal damage for everything, and then go back to flying types where now you're weak to ice and electric and rock. So there's caveats to it, but it was it was a thought that just happened to pop into my head, and I kind of wish that they did keep Burn Up.
Yeah, it would actually be interesting to test that with Roost. Although, I don't know how it would work with Terra, because Protean doesn't change Terra.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of interesting moves that Dudunsparce gets between physical and a special attack, and it's funny because there's only there's a 15-point difference between the two. So one would think, you know, hey, go all out with physical, but it's got such a great assortment of special attacks that, and not weak ones either. I mean, it can get Solar Beam, as an example, Blizzard, Fire Blast, Ice Beam, Earth Power. These are all heavy hitting attacks for Dudunsparce. That kind of says a lot.
It's definitely set up to be a mixed attacker.
Yeah, for sure. It's got some really interesting boost moves like Coil. It can learn Coil, which boosts its attack, defense, and accuracy, which then you can go into Stored Power with a plus 60 to your attack on the second turn. That's crazy.
I said earlier, Dudunsparce, the most broken Pokemon of Gen 9.
Yeah, I'm starting to think so.
Same.
I mean, Wild Charge, Earthquake, Stone Edge. The list just keeps going, man. The list just keeps going. I'd actually run. I would seriously run a stored powered Dudunsparce. Actually, I'm thinking about it now.
And for any of the viewers out there, you can still run the Serene Grace King's Rock combo and just slap on the Air Slash or Rock Slide onto it. Just get all the chances to flinch.
This for the Pokemon that spends most of its life on its belly, eating the sand.
Still not a ground type.
And with that, brings this episode to a close. What are your thoughts about the Dudunsparce? How would you build one out? Let us know down below. Also, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. And as always, have an amazing day. Bye!
See ya!
Cheers, everyone.